scene from the exciting Republic picture Johnny Guitar, starring Joan Crawford. How many shots do you think were fired in that exciting bit of gunplay? Well, the answer is 9, and that's how we play Bank on the Stars.
As Beacon Wax, the world's biggest floor wax bargain, presents Bank on the Stars. Tonight you'll see The Long Wait, starring Anthony Quinn and Peggy Castle. Knock on Wood, starring Danny Kaye and Mai Zetterling. And Johnny Dark, starring Tony Curtis and Piper Laurie. And here in person is that bright young comedy star who just flew in from Hollywood, Bill Cullen.
Oh, thank you ever so much for making me so welcome. How about that scene from the New Republic True Color Western, Johnny Guitar, hey? Starring Joan Crawford and featuring lovely Mercedes McCambridge, who, by the way, was with us last week, and Sterling Hayden. It's a real unusual picture that's filled with action, as you can plainly see from that brief scene we showed you. Now, we're going to have more real exciting scenes like that. Then I'm going to ask our contestants 3 questions based on the picture they've just seen. That's pretty much about the way the show works. But right now, you know, frequently, friends, one brand of any fact product might be many times superior to another brand. And that's the reason I show you Beacon Wax here. Very good reason, because the way to find what is superior is to make tests between different brands. For instance, in floor wax, well, we have all kinds of ways. As a matter of fact, I happen to have a blackboard on its way in now, and to give you an idea of how Beacon Wax works out. You see, the way to make a test is to find out which is the better. In other words, there's only one way. Now, we have our blackboard in here, please, sir. This blackboard has been imported direct from Lower Austria, and there's someone back there pushing it. It's not an enchanted blackboard at all. We had an enchanted blackboard last week, but it was so enchanted it flew away. Now, let's say you want to find out which brand of wax is superior. Well, let's take your own kitchen, and let's assume this represents your kitchen. Shall we do that? All right, on one half of it, we'll make a little line to divide the kitchen. On one half, let's assume that you, thank you very much, put on some, these sound effects are supplied, that you put Beacon Wax. You do that just like that. And on this side over here, any other brand of wax your little heart desires. Any kind of wax at all you want to put on there, do it. After you've covered, after you put on the Beacon Wax, make sure you wash out the mop. That's so that when you put the other brand on, you don't get the 2 waxes mixed. That's a fair test, isn't it? Well, after you've done that, observe your floor. Watch very carefully and see which one gleams brighter and gleams longer. You'll find out, friends, that that's the reason Beacon outsells any other brand of wax here in New York or in any other city at all. Now, people know that Beacon is hardest, is the longest lasting, and has the brightest gloss. It's guaranteed to give hardest, longest lasting, brightest gloss at all times, and that's why it's the world's biggest floor wax bargain. Right here, Beacon Wax. Now, Cynthia, whom are our first contestants, dear?
Well, Bill, we have Miss Jean Danese of New York City and Dave Kohler of the U.S. Navy.
Well, say, that's fine. Jean Denise of New York City and Dave Kohler. Come on up here, Jean. You come in first, and that'll get you in the middle. Oh, boy. And you're Dave, is that right? How do you do, Dave, and how do you do, Jean? Did you like my little bit with my enchanted blackboard, or did you see that?
I didn't see it. It sounds sensational.
It sounded good? I like the partner you picked, Dave. My goodness, huh?
You're fine.
Yeah, she's real good. You a miss or you a Mrs.?
Still miss.
Huh?
Still miss.
Still miss? Would you like to change it to Mrs.?
You asking me?
There I go, trying to be friendly, and you see what happens. No, I actually am not in a position to make that request right. Your name is Jean Denise, is that right?
Danese.
Danise. That's a French-sounding name. Is that a French name?
Yes. I'm half French and half Cherokee Indian.
You're half French and half Cherokee?
That's right.
Any of you folks here with reservations? Speaking of reservations, and interesting, do you have an Indian name at all, being part Cherokee?
Yes, I do have.
What's that?
Well, the English translation is little girl with black hair flying out under low cloud with black eagle.
Little girl with black hair flying under a low cloud with a black eagle? That is your name in Indian? Let's go back to your French name. Do you have any scalps or anything like that with you at the moment?
Well, my grandfather had souvenirs he kept around like that. As a matter of fact, he always taught me about thick hair like yours.
And you're part Cherokee?
Yes.
I want you folks to know that if what I think is going to happen happens, next week, my head will look like I've used Beacon Wax. Full plug, I thought I'd get in there. My goodness. Let's see, how long you been in the Navy, sir?
3 years.
Married?
No, I'm not.
Single? Engaged or anything like that? You're not? You engaged?
No.
Well, I'd like you to meet the fella here. The reason I want you to meet him is because I think his scalp will look better on your grandfather's belt. You know? I like girls and all that sort of thing, but I like to keep my hair. Otherwise, I get up in the morning and have nothing to use the comb on. Let me see, what's that Indian nickname of yours again, please, Jean?
It's a little girl with black hair flying out under low cloud with black eagle.
You are seeing a show here with a gentleman from the United States Navy and a little girl with black hair flying out under a low cloud with a black eagle. Oh, that's fun. All right, now, what I'd like to do is forget this whole thing and get into your question. First, I'd like to tell you how we play the game. We show you a picture, a clip from a real exciting picture. After it's all over, we ask 3 questions. You each get a chance to answer. If you're both right, you win $50 as a team. 1 right, 1 wrong. $25, both right, nothing. And you all get a chance at our great big $500 bank night bonus later on. You understand that? Now get ready, because we're going to show you a scene from the dramatic new United Artists picture, The Long Wait. This one stars Anthony Quinn, Peggy Castle, and Charles Coburn. It's based on the best-selling novel by Mickey Spillane. Now, in this scene, you see, Gene Evans suspects Peggy Castle is the missing girl who can provide the answer to a mysterious murder. Now, watch and listen closely.
Guess we might as well call it a night. You tried to con me out of bringing McBride in by pretending it doesn't matter if he's hurt or not. Why? Because it does matter. And you know who that makes you. Vera.
You're crazy. How could I put a thing like that over on you?
Look at her, Packman. You'd never know she was lying, would you?
You've known me for 2 years, Servo. Have I ever lied to you?
Yeah, for 2 years. You kept saying your name was Venus.
Well, it's not Vera. As for bringing McBride in, I don't like to see anybody hurt. It's not my line. To me, he's just another guy.
You're all wrong, Servo. Can't you see that? She's on the level with you.
Don't butt in or you'll get a taste of what she's gonna get.
No! No, Servo, please, I'm not Vera. I swear I'm not Vera.
Well, that was real sensational. That was Peggy Castle and Gene Evans in a scene from the suspenseful United Artists picture, The Long Wait, starring Anthony Quinn, Charles Coburn, and Peggy Castle. Incidentally, we got a surprise for you. Beautiful and lovely Peggy Castle, who played the lead in that picture, is here with us in the studio tonight. Peggy, would you be kind enough to take a bow, if you would, please? Peggy Castle, ladies and gentlemen, there she is. There she is. Very nice. Very nice. Well, there we are. Oh, yes, back to the game. All right, sir, we're going to ask you the first question. Let's see how very well you do. Now, in that scene, Peggy Castle was called by 2 different names. One was Vera. What was the other one? You say Venus, and what do you say?
Venus.
You both say Venus. You're both right. That's $50 on that one for you, and you're heading in the right direction. That's good. All right. Now, the license number on the car that Peggy Castle was forced into was in plain view during that scene. Can you'll be first this time. Can you give me the first number or letter of the license plate?
5.
You say 5, and what do you say, sir?
5.
You both say 5. You're both right, and you have another $50 for a total of 100 thus far. You boys and girls are doing real good. All right, the final one. Let's see if you can make it 150. In that scene, it was mentioned how long Gene Evans had known Peggy Castle. How long was it? You are first this time, sir.
2 years.
You say 2 years. And do you
2
say?
years.
You say 2 years. 2 years and 2 years. You're both right again, and you've done it. You've won top money, $150. Hey, that's good going. You have won not only $150, but you've won a year's supply of beacon wax. That'll come in very handy on the ship, sir. Yeah. Draw a chalk line down the middle of the ship, put beacon wax on side, and any other old kind of wax on the other side, and then ask the Admiral which he likes better. Just phone him from the brig, because that's where you'll be. But in any event, both of you will have a chance a little later on at our great big bank night bonus. Thanks a lot for helping us out on Bank on the Stars. Thanks a lot. Me, oh my. Welcome back again. You know, I have several interesting things to tell you right now. Beacon is one of the world's leading research firms on floor wax. I suppose you know that. They have just perfected, as a matter of fact, the perfect way of recapturing the original floor beauty of your house. In other words, make your floor just like new again. How do they do it? Well, let's take old wax that won't come off. Up to this time, you use such things as here. We have steel wool, and here we have an old wire brush that's fine, and an axe that you use to scrape it off, and a real sharp putty-type knife to do it. And here's a potato masher. I don't know how that got in here. It's very good for mashing potatoes. Sandpaper and things like that. Well, now, my goodness, that's all over. Just forget about it. That takes care of that. Chloe has finally answered. Instead of using that, we have a brand new system for you. It's developed by Beacon. I'll tell you what it is. We use, first of all, let's take 2 gallons of hot water. Do we have that in mind? All right, and here is the product we want to tell you about. It's Beacon All Brands Wax and Dirt Remover. Now, what you do, when you get the All Brands Wax and Dirt Remover, you take 4 ounces of it, which really isn't a very hard thing. I mean, you don't have to be a chemistry student or anything like that. Just be a good pour-outer. Hello, welcome home. All right, now, 4 ounces we have there. We put it in the hot water. So, hello in there. When you've done that, you spread it over the floor that has the old and dirty wax on it. I mean, wax has been on there for a long time. And up to now, you just couldn't hardly get off at all. Spread it over there and leave it there for 10 minutes. You don't do a thing. Just it's on the floor, and you go away and forget about it, read a book or sing a song or dance, whatever you do in 10 minutes. When you come back, rinse it all off with cold weather. Oh, cold weather. Yes, it will be this week. My goodness. Rinse it off with cold water, and you will find your floor is new, just like new, and reconditioned. You have it just the way it was originally. Then, if you want to shine to it after that, you use the remover. See, that's what that is. That's remover and remover only. Now, if you want to shine to it, well, let's call on our old friend here in the can, Beacon Wax. That's the wax that was the floor wax test that we showed you a moment ago, winner. So, it's the remover to take off the old, and, of course, to put on the new gleam, Beacon Wax. Use that as a favor to old Bill, won't you? Cynthia, do we have some new contestants on their way up here?
Yes, we certainly do. We have Mrs. Patricia Farnsworth from Sioux City, Iowa, and Mr. Bernard Dishy from Brooklyn.
Bernard Dishy and Miss Farnsworth. How do you do, Miss Farnsworth? And thank you. You're Mr. Dishy?
That's right.
Mr. Dishy, it's a rare privilege. So where'd you meet Bernard?
I haven't met him yet.
You mean you're out with him and you have... Huh?
I said I was out with him.
You're not out with him? Oh, you're married? Oh, goodness me. Congratulations. Rice for everybody, I always say. You haven't met him yet? Oh, we just picked you and made a couple out of you. Is that right? Well, that's a good idea. Let's get you on introduced. Your name is Cynthia? Patricia Farnsworth. Is that right? And your name, sir?
Bernard Dishy.
Bernard Dishy. This is Miss Farnsworth. Miss Farnsworth, Mrs. Farnsworth, Mrs. Dishy. My name is Cullen. How do you do, Bernard? How do you do, Mrs. Farnsworth? Now, we're all friends, right?
Right.
Good friends? Then you got to leave because my friends aren't allowed to be on the show. Only kidding. What do you do? What do you do, Pat?
I'm a zoology instructor at Hofstra College.
A zoology instructor? That's about the birds and the bees?
Well, the way we say it is the study of the animal kingdom.
I like birds and bees better, actually. What do you do, Bernie?
My brother and I are in business, product promotion.
Product promotion? Say, I got a product I like to promote, Beacon Wax, right here. We have a fine thing. You are a zoology teacher. You teach all about the animal kingdom and things like that? Now, what part, tell me about something.
Oh, well, I have a favorite lecture on the ear. I can give you
You're going to
the
lecture on the ear? Give me the parts of the ear? All right. Give me the parts of the ear.
The trumpet.
The trumpets? We have those.
The external canal.
The external canal, very good.
The middle ear.
Middle ear.
The hammer.
The hammer.
The
The anvil.
The
Stirrup.
oval window.
The what?
Oval window.
Would you close the oval window, please? It's just a little drafty in here. I'd like to stay here and talk about the ear all night. One of my favorite subjects when I'm with a pretty girl. But actually, we don't have time now because we got to get into this next question. You two all ready to win some money? Patricia and Bernard, or is it Bernard?
Either one.
All right, Patricia and either one. Now, we're going to show you two. We're going to show you two a scene from the very amusing new Paramount picture. This one's Knock on Wood, starring our old favorite Danny Kaye, and he does this with a young lady named Mai Zetterling. Now, in this scene, Danny Kaye plays an American ventriloquist in Europe. Get ready, watch, and listen very carefully.
Those pills don't mean a thing, Marty. It's all in your mind.
Dramamine clears it up right away.
You know, I just read an article. It said in the article that you never get airsick if you have something on your stomach.
Please, don't say stomach.
What did you have for dinner?
I don't want to think about it.
Well, you should think about it. The article said you should think about it. It eases the tension, relaxes the stomach muscles.
Please, don't say stomach.
Marty, don't be a child. You've got to fight this thing. Now tell me, what did you have for dinner?
Well, first I had a little chicken soup.
Chicken soup? Well, chicken soup is wonderful. It's light, nourishing, warm, going down, settles the stomach.
Please, don't say stomach.
Well, what else did you have for dinner?
Lobster.
Lobster? Good, good. Lobster, very good. High protein content, iodine. Very good indeed. Did you have it boiled?
No, thermidor.
Oh, thermidor.
With a thick cheese sauce.
That's nice. Thick cheese sauce.
Then some chicken tetrazzini. Broccoli with hollandaise sauce. Then a chopped anchovy salad with a Roquefort dressing. Then for dessert,
No names, just initials.
baked Alaska with a rich, creamy, fluffy,
All right.
sugary.
All right.
Say, you know, you were right. My stomach feels much better.
Please, don't say stomach.
Oh, boy. That was Danny Kaye and David Burns in Paramount's new Technicolor comedy, Knock on Wood, in which he co-stars with beautiful Mai Zetterling. You should see it. It's a very amusing picture. All right, now let's get to the game. We have some questions for the two of you. We'll start out with you, Bernard, or Bernard, either one. We'll give you the first question. Danny Kaye called his seatmate by a name in that scene. What was his name? What was the name he called?
Marty.
You say Marty. All right, now you have a chance. You say Marty. Marty, you're both right. You have $50 and you're heading in the right direction. All right, what was the seatmate, Marty, holding in his hand, which they referred to? He was holding something in his hand. You're going to be first on his hat. 5 seconds. Marty was holding it, and I'm sorry, his hat? No. Well, I don't say. What do you say?
Newspaper.
You say hat and you say newspaper? It was Dramamine pills. But frequently, Dramamine pills will look like a hat in a newspaper. But anyway, that's a wrong one, but you have $50. We got another one coming up for you. The first dish on the extensive menu, which David Burns recited, was chicken soup. Now, we all remember that. What did he say he had for dessert? You first, Bernard. Bernard? What did he say he had for dessert? Don't anybody help who was at that restaurant? You want to say, I don't know? All right, you still get it. Cheese souffle. No, it was a baked Alaska. A baked Alaska. You got nothing on that one. But you did get 50 for the first one between you. That's not bad at all. You got 50 between you. And let me see. We also have for you a year's supply of beacon wax for your very own, for each of you. And you're going to have a chance, we hope, at our great big $500 bank night bonus later on. Thanks ever so much for helping us play Bank on the Stars. All righty, come on in here, Cynthia, and bring us some people, will you? See what you have for us, Synth. Here comes Cynthia with some people. Come on in with them, Synth. Here we go. Let's see what we arrive at here.
Miss
Whom do we
Phoebe
have?
Muller from
Phoe-
Brooklyn,
She's a fine girl.
and Helen Chartel from Reading, Pennsylvania.
From Reading, Pennsylvania?
Reading.
Reading, Pennsylvania. That's better. I'll tell you what we're going to do now. Come on over here, Miss Chartel. We'll get in this real fast. What are you doing here in New York?
Why, my husband is here on business, and I thought it was a good idea for me to come along with him.
Your husband is here on business, and you thought it was a good idea for you to come along with him. That's awfully good reasoning. And you're Miss Chartel, is that right? Come on back in here, Phoebe. My goodness, you're way back there. Come in. You come in too, Miss Chartel. Maybe we'll make a trio or something. Yes. What are you doing here, Phoebe?
Well, I'm here with your program.
You're here. Well, I knew that. Yeah, but I mean, what are you doing in New York?
Oh, I live in New York.
Oh, you live in New York? Oh, you didn't come to see the program from out of town or anything like
No.
that? You married?
Yes.
How long?
7 years.
Family?
One boy, 5 years old.
One boy, 5 years old. Congratulations to you. Might he be watching?
Well, we're going to expect another one.
Huh?
We're expecting another
You're
one
expecting another one?
in about 2 or 3 years.
In 2 or 3? Congratulations. The very best of everything to you. What do you do? Do you have any hobbies or pursue any work or anything like that?
Well, my occupation is dance teacher.
You are a dance teacher? Ooh, boy, what kind of dancing do you teach?
Well, I teach whatever you want to know.
No, I mean dancing. I've stepped on some of the finest feet in the land, to tell you the real truth. Would you like to learn to dance, Miss Chartel?
Yes, I would.
Do you dance at all?
Very little.
Where'd you meet your husband, this one who came to New York on business?
Drinking coffee in a restaurant.
Drinking coffee in a restaurant.
That is right.
Were you drinking coffee on one end, and he was drinking coffee on the other end? And he blew it in a saucer? And no, that's another story. I would like to go on with this, but unfortunately time is pushing us, so what we're going to do is come up with a picture. Now, you come on over here, both of you, where you're going to be comfortable, because we have a fine scene for you, a scene from the fast-moving new Universal International Technicolor picture, Johnny Dark, starring Tony Curtis, Piper Laurie and Don Taylor. Now, both of you, watch and listen carefully. Here we go.
Want it for you, Johnny boy. You okay? Yeah, sure, not a scratch. That's all I wanted to know.
Johnny!
Johnny, the brakes went. So help me. Coming around that turn, I lost them. Maybe it was a brake fade. Then the brake drums would be hot, wouldn't they? Oh, you can do better than that, Duke. How about this one? You got dust in your eye. You couldn't see the road. You couldn't even see my pit signals. You could only see the people in the stand cheering you on to a new record. I'm sorry about the pit signals, but those brakes went. Come on around a turn, Okay. Forget it.
Johnny, he was trying to explain. You didn't give him a chance.
I gave him my card, didn't I?
And that's all that means anything to you, that card. Well, you can have it.
Oh, boy, that was Tony Curtis, Piper Laurie, and Don Taylor in the brand new Universal International Technicolor picture, Johnny Dark. A very good picture it is, too. Y'all ready for your questions about Johnny Dark? All right, we're going to ask you first, Miss Chartel. Let's see how well you did. What did the sign say that Tony Curtis held up for his driver in that scene? The sign had some writing on it. What did it say? Have any idea? Signed on a blackboard. Looked like my beacon wax test there, Lee. Wasn't as neat as mine, but nice. Yeah, okay, I have to go along now to you, Phoebe.
Well, I thought it said first place.
First place and ease off. First place is enough, though. You get $25 between you on that first one. That's one of you got it. Good. All right. Here comes the second one. What was the number? You'll be first on this one, Phoebe. What was the number of Tony Curtis's car which crashed? The number. Tony?
34.
You say 34. What do you say?
21.
21 is right. So you have another $25, and it's 50 in all for you. All right. You're first on this one now, Miss Shortell. What was the reason that Don Taylor gave for cracking up the car? The reason he gave. He said there was something happened. There was a reason why.
Skidded.
He skidded. What do you say?
The brakes faded.
The brakes faded?
Yes, he used that expression.
Faded, yeah. Well, he might have at that. Actually, it was the brakes failed, but fail and fade are pretty much the same because if when you're shooting craft, you fade and you fail. Oh, boy, I've had it happen to me. It's another $25 between you. You have $25 three times. That's $75 in all. And, Cynthia, would you come on in here? You just come on in here, Cynthia. I want you to meet these two people. I'm going to see that these two people get a year's supply of beacon wax. Each one of them. Do that for me. And also, we'll see you later on at Back Night Phone. See them off, if you will, Cynthia. Thanks a lot, folks. You probably wonder what a perfectly normal American or red-blooded American boy is doing, standing with the globe of the world in one hand and a mop in the other. Well, the reason we have the globe of the world is very simple. We want to remind you that beacon wax is one of the world's biggest selling floor waxes. There you are. Hercules. And why this? Well, if you'll just take a look down there, I'll show you why this. You know, a lot of times you see your floor, a very nice, shiny floor, and it's all dirty, and you just have an awful time with scrubbing and all that. Well, now, if your floor has been protected by beacon wax, take a good close look. Just like this dirt here. You just take them off, and you just shove, and away goes the dirt. I do it again. There you are. Now, that gives you an idea to see for yourself how beacon gives your floors the hardest, the brightest, the longest-lasting gloss you've ever seen anywhere. You see, Beacon shines far brighter and far longer than any other wax. As a matter of fact, the first sign of a good housekeeper is always gleaming floors. So when folks come to see you, have gleaming floors. They're easy to keep clean, very easy. You just notice that gleam. There's no reason why Beacon's the biggest seller in New York and in many other cities. And, by the way, obtainable at paint, linoleum, and wallpaper stores. So why don't you sort of do me a favor and get yourself some Beacon wax. Would you do that as a favor to me? Say, Cynthia, who do we have up here? A chance at our great big bank night bonus. Who we got?
You're our first couple, Bill.
Yes,
Miss Jean Danny's and Dave Kohler.
I was coming back with them up, but someone stole it away from me. I always like to, but how do you do again? Little girl flying under the noble cloud with your hair hanging loose on top of your head with a white turtle dove pigeon on top of you. There, how do you do? Still in the Navy, sir?
Sure am.
Have you made that Beacon wax test on the battleship?
I haven't.
No medal for you. That's not brave. Our bank night bonus tonight is worth $500. You both ready to try for it? What you win to get it? $150? Oh, and an additional $500. You're going to really be sailing. You'll have a total of $650. Now, I'll tell you how it works. Here is where the bank night bonus happens. You see, we're going to present a famous star from a great picture. Now, this time, our studio audience and the viewers at home are going to be able to see and hear the picture. That ain't going to be the case for you two. You're going to be able to hear it, but you just will not be able to see it. You understand? We're going to make you face away. Now, you're going to hear in this scene a very distinguished and fine actress. Now, it's up to you to identify this familiar and famous actress from her voice alone. Now, you just turn around, face that way, away from the screen, and remember, no, right there, no cheating. If you turn around, you turn into a pillar of money. Here, there you are. You feel good that way, you two? Everything all right? All right. Now, you just one answer. I just want one answer between the two of you. You understand? Each one don't get a chance to give me one. You talk it over and give me one answer. If you're right, an additional $500. So listen very carefully, and lights, please. Here we go on the bank night.
Hello? Oh, Ed. Have you seen Doc? He went out this morning and he hasn't come home yet. And we're having company for dinner. Well, no, but you know that bottle of whiskey we had in the kitchen all this time? Well, Doc's never gone near it. And tonight I was going to make drinks for the company, and I went to get it and it was gone.
All right. You may both come back to the land of the living now. Have you talked it over and decided on an answer? All right, what is your answer?
Mercedes McCambridge and come back with Sheba.
Mercedes McCambridge and come back, little Sheba. No, I'm sorry, that isn't it. That was the great Academy Award-winning actress Shirley Booth.
Oh, sure.
Soon to be seen in the new Paramount dramatic picture about Mrs. Leslie. That's the name of it, co-starring Bob Ryan. I've seen a preview of the picture, and it's really wonderful. Well, my goodness, you didn't win the fight. Oh, by the way, while that picture's showing, I have a direct line here to an uncle of mine who owns a hardware store. So you tell people, wallpaper, paint, linoleum stores, how come you didn't tell them you can also buy Beacon wax in a hardware store? So for my Uncle Sam, I just want to say, Uncle Sam Schwartz, that is, Sam, best of luck to you. You can, of course, buy it in a hardware store. And I don't want Aunt Minnie to get mad at me. Ooh, she's such a one. Well, you didn't win the $500, but you do have $150 to sort of split up between you, and I think that's real good going. Our bank night bonus next week will start out, instead of $500, we'll add another $2.50 to it and start out at $750 at all. Speaking of that, next week we're going to have a lot of interesting and fine things. We're going to have some new fine people we want you to meet. We're going to have some new films, some new stars, and well, a lot of new chatter, we hope. So meantime, why don't you sort of join us? We'll be happy to have. Oh, yes, one other thing. On Bank on the Stars, we have tried Beacon Wax. We've tested it ourselves, and we'd like to remind you that you can always bank on Beacon Wax. Till next week, same time, same channel. It's Bill Cullen saying thanks to all of you, and especially both of you for being with us. We'll see you again next week. So long, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye.